Hello and welcome once more to the sideboard of the Somerset Team Sealed Open. I'm Glenn Jones, and I'm here with William Jensen.
Hello.
Reid and Owen Turtenwald. All right, so you guys are currently undefeated in the tournament. You've been on table one, I think, twice in a row, or I should say tables 1, 2, and 3 twice in a row. We had you just on SCG Live. How did you guys decide on this being your configuration? Obviously, you guys all know a lot of people, a lot of good friends, a lot of good Magic players. So what made you guys want to team up for this event?
Well, I came back into Magic around Pro Tour Return to Ravnica, and I was working with Team SCG Black. That was the first tournament Owen worked with SCG Black, and also Reid's been a member, I guess, for a little while longer. Owen and I guess, just hit it off. We became really good friends. We decided to team together, and in the end, we just thought Reid was an obvious choice for the third candidate. So we asked, and Reid accepted.
Yeah, I had arranged to play with my cousin Logan Nettles. We were really excited to play together, but other commitments came up for him. So, it just worked out perfectly to fill the missing slot on this team.
It certainly worked out fine so far. So coming into the team support, obviously it's the first weekend that Dragon's Maze is a legal set to play Magic the Gathering with, really. Did you have any preconceived notions as you sat down for deck building? Were you hoping to open certain guilds? Did you think others would be weaker?
I guess we were just hoping that there would be some kind of obvious direction that the packs were forcing us into, and that usually comes with the gold cards. You're going to have good cards in all 5 of your colors, but it's really your rares and uncommons in certain guilds. It's going to say okay, well, this is an awesome card and it's only going to fit in an aggressive Rakdos deck. That's the kind of thing you look for right away. And, I think we were pretty much fortunate with our crew this time.
A lot of players have said, different things, like you can build a bunch of wedge decks, multiple 3-color decks, or maybe you want to put all the fixing in one deck, or try and get as many 2-color decks as you can. What's your viewpoint on that so far?
Well, we did a bunch of practice fields, and they all basically just built themselves in that we tried a certain combination, and then we played games with the decks, and we went back and looked and said, well, maybe this deck was too weak, we can't build a deck like that. And all the decks just basically, it was just so obvious what to play, and that's just been our strategy from day one.
One thing is paying close attention to whether you want to be aggressive or defensive. If you're building an aggressive deck, your 3rd and 4th colors really come at a high cost. So if your cards are guiding you in a way towards an aggressive strategy, that's a deck that you want to keep in 2 colors. You provide your remaining colors, or you're fixing the other 1 or 2 decks.
Okay. Is that basically how this seal went? You pretty much started building the decks that you arrived at?
Yeah, exactly. I said one of the most important things in this format was to just take out every card in a pool that's I have to play this. Let's say you were playing in Innistrad and you opened Olivia, you would never not build the Black Red. You'd be like, I have to just play that card. It's too good. And I'd say you definitely were making a mistake if you left a card that powerful in your sideboard. So we just saw our rares and uncommons, pulled out the ones that we valued as extremely powerful, and built decks to accommodate those cards.
We pretty much looked through the cards for minutes, and I think these 3 decks are going to be the decks we want, which is the 3 decks we ended up with. We built them, and we tried a bunch of other configurations, and the first one,
it turned out our instincts
were right.
Good.
All right, excellent. That's an interesting approach as well. Most people have started laying out, I think, by the guilds and trying to look for deep guilds, but you're starting with the rares and the powerful cards, or do you do a mix match of both?
We did that as well, but we also had a bias coming in towards the guilds and colors of the most powerful cards. We laid out all the guilds, and then we're like, okay, well, this guild has 2 cards, and they're not even that good, so we can basically just eliminate the option of playing a 2-color deck in that guild. So.
Sure, okay. Obviously, it's worked out so far. What decks have you played against? What have you seen other people bring into the table?
I'm not sure if it's a coincidence, but I've played against 3, I think, band color decks.
Okay.
I don't know if it's something about being player C, but it's
maybe that's where the green mages are.
Yeah, I guess so. We just played against a really, really good Boros deck, and it seemed like they probably opened a pool where it was okay, we're obviously going Boros and put their best cards to that player, and we ended up losing that match but winning the other 2.
I think my opponent's deck was just scraps of the other 2 decks. Your guys' deck looked like it was focused, all the cards made sense, and the Boros deck was obviously the generic.
I played against pretty diverse decks so far. I played against a Jund deck, I played against like an Izzet deck with a little white, and I played against like a really good Boros deck.
Awesome. So obviously this tournament started off pretty well. It seems to be working. Is this the band you're planning to take to Grand Prix Providence as well?
Yep.
Or?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me in the booth. Good luck in the rest of your rounds.
Thank you.